On behalf of the NHRA marketing staff, thank you. They no longer have to carry the 340 sign around in the truck. So, all right, Jimmy, how'd you do it? You walked up to me the next run and you're like, sometimes they go faster than you expect them to. It was a funny moment, but now that you've had time to debrief and look back, 341.68, first round. Tobler's in the other lane, career best for Rupert. Great run. How'd you guys do it?
Well, it's just like the thing is with this rev limiter anymore, how it's on it and when it's on it and when it's dropping cylinders. And, we've been close to all that before, and it's just one of those runs. It was all just right. It just kind of lined up and it went and did it. It's just they're not as predictable down track anymore as they used to be with on the rev limiter, because we're on it so early. When we're running that quick, we're on that. It gets on the, they call it a rev limiter, but it starts taking timing out of it before half track, and it just managed the way it did all that. It just ran a little stronger at the end than it had the other runs.
Have you spent any time just thinking about if there were, and we know why, safety equipment, we know why, but if there wasn't any, can you, what numbers might we see? Speed?
Oh, I don't know, but it's pulling the thing back. By the time it gets to the 1,000 foot, it's yarded a lot of timing out of it, and that's obviously hurting the power it makes. And we tune the fuel system and other things to that down there to try to keep it on 8 cylinders more. But we don't make that many runs in a year where we go the full 1,000 foot on 8 holes. You can get close, but it's tough.
It was amazing. That run is burned. I was there for Kenny Bernstein's 300 at Gainesville, and I remember it. I remember watching that car going down the track thinking, man, it just looks smooth and straight and perfect. No move, Austin, no corrections. It looked like, what does that run feel like now thinking back at it?
It felt nice. It's hard to say, I knew it was, going to run 340 that run, because you can't tell. You're talking a few mile an hour, so it's really hard to, it felt like a nice clean run, nice and smooth early, pulled decent or pulled good through the middle. And, you get down there and, you get the laundry out, you lift, and you always try and check the scoreboard, and, you see what it run, and, it was definitely cool. But shoot, I thought Rupert went about 380 mile an hour as fast as he went blazing by me. I was more focused on that. I was screaming, Rupert, shoots, bro, shoots. I love those guys over there, and Tobler especially. And, definitely didn't want to see him go in the kitty litter. So that's what I was most focused on. But once he got it woed down, it's definitely an awesome moment.
And Thomas saved the day watching the scoreboard earlier in the weekend when Doug Coletta went 300 to the 8th mile, and he came over and grabbed me very aggressively. And he said, 300 to the 8th. So I could, make sure everybody on our team knew, because I didn't, Thomas. So thank you for that. It was great. It was great. But when you saw the car go down the track, were you feeling like this could be a historic run?
No, we were kind of playing it on the cautious side a little bit so we didn't smoke the tires, but honestly that may have helped it run the speed. If it's going a little slower, it gets to the rev limiter a little later, and kind of all the magic happens after that. The track was in really good shape. I got to give the NHRA a lot of credit for how much grip the racetrack had, and I think that helps, and you can trim the cars out, the aerodynamics on them, and that all helps you run speed. But I didn't notice the scoreboard said that until I was pretty much walking off the starting line, because I'm always just so concerned about the ET. So it was just kind of a cool moment, and it was one of those things. It's like, you got to be kidding me! All the success we've had, and then something like that happens to top it off, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like the cherry on top. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't change anything about the season. But it happened,
Yeah, it happened.
I thought Tasca's accomplishment was amazing at the start of the season. I thought it raised the profile of the season so we could talk about it. But you guys tied that number in NHRA National Event Competition round 1, making it, the run when it comes to speed so far. You think we'll see more of those this year? Has there been any, everybody always fears the rules change, right? Oh my gosh, we don't want to see that. from your standpoint, Jimmy, everything the same? Might we see that when the conditions are right?
Yeah, I mean, I think once you've done it, in Tasca's car, it was, overall run for run last year, it was the fastest car. We've been working on trying to, get speed out of ours if we can, a little bit as we go. And yeah, if the conditions warranted at certain racetracks, like, there were times last year, I think for sure there were some racetracks we were at, Gainesville, Epping at night. A few, Bradenton was really good, obviously Pomona, Dallas. There were places that it could have been done. It's just getting it all lined up and, getting it to do it, and the engine has to be happy. There's a lot of, it takes a lot of everything being correct, obviously for it to do that. But yeah, now that we've done it, cars have done it, I don't think you'll see it a lot. The conditions are going to warrant that obviously the most. And, you don't make that many runs a year where you're in conditions that you're going to run that fast. So, but it could happen.